In this video, I'd like to discuss how to use a table of random numbers and how to use that to select a sample randomly. So, as humans, we really are not good at selecting things randomly. If we go into a group of, say, 25 people and they're in rows of five, and we're asked to select a group of a trio, a group of three, it's very unlikely that we will pick the first three people in that row in the first row. However, if we're being completely random, that sample could occur. So we have to rely on what's called a table of random numbers, or we can use software to select a group randomly. So first of all, what does the table of random numbers look like? Well, it looks just like this, where we see in columns and in rows a bunch of tables that look like they are put together randomly. How do we get a table of random numbers? Well, it's fairly simple. If I come over to my good buddy Google and just type in a search for random number table, you'll see all different sorts of random number tables that will come up. No one is better than the other. Personal preference, which one, I guess, format it looks better for you. I chose the very first one and made that my table of random numbers. So if you can follow along, I'm going to reference this table quite a bit while I go through my little tutorial here. So here's the key to using the table of random numbers. If you can understand this part of the video, I think it'll make things a lot easier for you. When you're tasked with selecting a sample, the first question you have to ask yourself is how many people or how many subjects or how many items are in my population. Okay, once again, how big is my population? That's going to dictate how you use this table of random numbers. For example, if I have a population of only 10 people, I can assign person number 1, I can assign person number 2, person number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 8, 9, and then the last person would be 0. So for a population of just 10 people, it's fairly simple to use the table of random numbers. I can go right across. Let's say in a group of 10, I want to select a sample of just 2. And I randomly start anywhere on this table. Let's just say I start right here. The first person in my selection, in my sample, would be the 9th person. And then the second person in my sample would be the 3rd person. And then I'm done. So the number or the size of your population will dictate how you use this table. Once again, let's say I had 100 people in my population. Well, now I have to count off by 2 digits. I no longer restrict myself to 1 digit. I'm going to assign people the number 00 all the way up to 99. So once again, let's say I had 100 people in my population and I want to select a sample size of just 2. And I start somewhere, I don't know, over here. Well, my first number would be 31. My second number would be 17. So in my sample of 2, I'm going to select the 31st person, and then I'm going to select the 17th person, and that's my sample of 2. That's the basic gist of how it works. I do think it makes a little more sense when we look at a couple examples. So let's do just that. All right, so the first example that we have for you guys is, let's just say we are looking at the different divisions in the NFL. And I'm interested in conducting a survey for the owners of each of the teams in these divisions. Now, I don't have the time to poll every single team in the league. So out of a population here, okay, this is my population, all these divisions, I want to select just 3 of the divisions. So the first thing I want to do is I want to ask myself, okay, in my population, remember, the key to using this random number table is how big is my population? And we are starting simple. Okay, the answer to this is we have 8 different divisions. Okay, and really I want to concern myself is how many digits does this population take up? It's just 1 digit. So using my random number table, I'm going to count off by 1 digit. Okay, so I'm going to simply assign these divisions the numbers 1 through 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and once again, my goal is to get a sample size of 3, or a sample, we'll say, of 3 divisions. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my table of random numbers, and I'm going to go across a row of digits until I've selected 3 numbers, and that's going to be the divisions I go with. So let's do just that. Exit out of this real quick. And let's just say I start over here. Okay. Now, I start with a 7. So 7 is going to be my first number. And look, I have my second number is 7 as well. So I really haven't changed much as I go across. So I just neglect this second 7. So my first sample is going to be 7. The second one is going to be 1. Now, I didn't assign a 0, so I can't go there. 7 I've already used. The third selection of my sample would be this number 8. So 7, 1, 8. Those are going to be the 3 divisions that I select. So let's go back to my PowerPoint. I think the annotations did not stay put. I don't know why. But real quick, let's just reassign these. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And according to my random number table, I got a 1, I got a 7, and I also got an 8. Oop, that's not a great circle. But the 3 in my sample are going to be the AFC East, the NFC North, and the NFC South.